in school social work placement, but you know,
Okay.
the thing is that they don't have a pathway as far
Mhm.
as a career pathway. So that's what I'm working on.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
I'm
good
glad
to
that
see
you were
you.
able to go and get back safely.
Thank you so much. And it's good to see you. Go
Good to
ahead.
see you too. I'm going to
Ah,
be on mute as I drive home, but I'm here to learn all that you can provide today.
okay. I'll try my best there. All
Thank you.
righty. Okay. All right, my Shirley. Next, you're on.
Just we're ready.
All righty. We're ready to rock and roll. Let's do this.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me, there you go. Hello and welcome. My name is Dr. Marsha Lee Adam. Uh, I am the MSW online coordinator at the Phyllis and Harvey Sanders School of Social Work at Florida Atlantic University. Before we get started, I want to briefly introduce you to the Robin Rubin Center for Happiness and Life Enhancement for those of you who may be joining for the first time. So the Robin Rubin Center is housed in the Sanders School of Social Work within the College of Social Work and Criminal Justice here at Florida Atlantic. So if you're looking for us, we're on the first floor. The center offers weekly wellness programming free of charge. Students, faculty, staff, friends, and family are welcome and are encouraged to attend all events, including meditations every Friday at noon on Zoom. They started September 6th. We also have yoga on the second and fourth Mondays of each month and special monthly workshops like this one we offer. It's never more important to nurture our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual wellness. We are a firm believer that it all starts with giving yourself permission to show up and step forward. So far, any first time visitors in the audience today, welcome. And to everyone else, thank you for showing up for yourself today and always. Now, I would like to introduce our speaker for today, which some of the students have already begun to chat chat with. Excuse me. can't see the I can't see the full. There we go. So, instructor Marva Furlongue-Laver has been in social work for over 30 years and has practiced nationally and internationally. As you heard, she's coming from an international conference. Her practice includes child welfare, clinical social work, school social work, and advocacy. She's a doctoral candidate at Walden University with her focus in on school social work services and the marginalization of school social workers by the administration during the planning of re-engagement activities for students with school post-COVID-19 lockdown. She's our very own assistant coordinator of field instruction at Florida Atlantic University. Prior to this position, she was the inaugural instructional facilitator who developed the process for supporting the Broward County Public School District's initiative to train at least 80% of their staff in youth mental health first aid awareness of the signs and symptoms of mental health concerns. Past positions also included equity liaison, practice field educator, and professional learning facilitator. She's credentialed in Broward County Public Schools. She shares knowledge to elevate others, students, families, and colleagues to another level as her passion. She has provided training workshops in the United Kingdom, where she's coming from, Italy, New York, where she's a native of, Maryland, and Florida. These workshops have covered areas of substance misuse, social work supervision, social work research, eliminating school to prison pipeline, effective practice education, and answering implicit bias and institutional racism. As a school district equity liaison, she facilitated courageous conversations about race with the Student Services Department as they progressed through becoming anti-racist social workers and developing and implementing interventions through an equity lens. So I bring to the stage Miss Marva.
All right. Thanks, everybody, and welcome. I like to use music when I present because especially when you're trying to engage, and I know everyone is rushing, some people are on their way home from work, some are still at work, and I really appreciate the fact that you made the conscious decision. And it's a decision that you made. You didn't have to be here. You don't have to be on, but you made that conscious decision to spend some time with us today. And so I want to make sure that it's productive time. It's time well spent. My mom, I am very much a Jamaican and it's part of who I am. And I wear it with great pride. And my mom used to have to say, when you're going to visit people or you're going to entertain people, they should be happy to see you coming. They shouldn't think, oh my God, not again. So I am very happy and pleased, and I don't take it for granted that you made that conscious choice to spend your time with us today. And as the kind of little blurb said about, it's about your stress level, right? Is your stress level so high that now, that the coffee, higher than the cups of coffee that you drink, it's important that we truly take care of ourselves. And I know, especially since COVID and everybody brandishes self-care, self-care, but what is really self-care? So for our time together today, I am just going to talk about your mental well-being because your mental well-being is a state of thriving. We need to shift from surviving to thriving. And I remember because as Marsha Lee said, I have worked and lived in the United Kingdom for several years as a social worker. And I remember there came a time when the stress level was so much because again, it was an adjustment period for us. And we recognized that even though we think we spoke the same language, things was different. But the reason why I'm telling you that, I remember when a couple of my colleagues and we made the conscious decision. I never forgot, we said, you know what? We are no longer just surviving. We are going to be thriving. And once we made that decision, something came about us that really resonated. We started shifting gears. So I want to tell you that this is about thriving. Your mental well-being is about having you thrive. Okay? It is the foundation. Thriving is the foundation for living strong, healthy, and fulfilling life. And that's what we are aimed to have, that fulfilling life. So to set the context, I want y'all to think about, how do you feel when you wake up in the morning? Are you exhausted? Do you feel groggy? Or do you jump out of bed refreshed and like, woo, I'm ready to go. It's a brand new day. So I want to think about you to think about that, because if the latter is you, then you start to care about your I. And I know many times, we're in a society that it may be taboo and, we're not supposed to talk about me, or I, but you need to start caring about your I. I need space. I could put this in another way to say, I need space. I need space away from all the pressures of life. Thank you, exhausted, but thankful. Yes, Jessica. So we're going to be thinking about that as we go through the PowerPoint. I want y'all to think about the space that you need that's going to allow you to thrive in this life that we know. Okay? So we're going to just move right on into the presentation. So remember, in your busy and frantic life, start thinking about, what do you need to make sure that you thrive? So you draw that line into taking care of yourself. All righty. So we're going to start with our PowerPoint, with our presentation. Alrighty. So I'm a lover of candles. Candles come from so many things for us. And just take a look at that. It can be stress free, it can be aromatherapy. So, whatever you want to think about as you see the candles, and that is going to help you frame who you are. Okay, next. Next slide. All right. So, as we start, one of the things I like to do is have community agreement. It is important, again, as we are trying about reducing our stress, you got to know your body. You need to listen to your body. What is going on inside of you? What is it telling you, right? And also be willing and open to welcome new experiences and show up as you are. It is about you. Remember, your I. I need space to show up as I am. I need to just welcome new experience. I don't care who around me or what's going on. So I just need to listen to my body and, like it was saying, have those USA moment. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to welcome new experience. Maybe like one of the things we're going to talk about is soft belly breathing. That's new. And that's going to be contrary to how we normally breathe. So be ready. There's no perfect way. All right. Okay, next. So we're going to start by doing some breathing. And just look at the screen. And we're going to start where it says start here. You're going to breathe in. Then you're going to hold that breath. Now, how we know we're breathing in and that we're bringing in the oxygen, your tummy should rise a little as you inhale because you want to bring in that oxygen. You're going to hold it for a minute and then you're just going to breathe out and feel the stress leave you. You could lower your eyes, you could close them or just lower your gaze as we do this. So we're going to take 3 breaths just to get us ready, get all the stress out of our neck, out of our arm, wherever you hold that stress right now. So let's begin. We're going to breathe in, breathe out through open mouth. One more time. Inhale through your nostrils, hold, breathe out. For this last breath, I want you're going to hold it and you're going to feel the oxygen as it comes through your nostril. Allow it to flood down to your toes and everything. And you're going to hold it. And then when you let it out, just feel the tingling and just feel the sensation in your fingertips as you let that stress go. Let's do it. Okay, so we're ready. All right, we're gonna warm up with some stress activity busters, right? I want you to think about a time when you were stressed and you found a way to manage your reaction and your feelings. So think about it. Get that time in your headspace. It may be at home with your kids, it may be work, it may be a partner, maybe just you were doing something in the neighborhood, anytime. Maybe it was even from your childhood. All right. And then you found a way to manage your reaction. You found something that helped you to relieve it. So finish this sentence. You could finish it in the chat, but you're going to type it in the chat, but you're not going to release it until I say release. So here's your starter. One of the best things I can do for myself when I'm feeling stressed is, and remember, you could either go back to that time that you did the action, type it in the chat. Don't release it yet until I say release. We're doing a waterfall activity. Everybody thought about the time. One of the best things I can do for myself when I'm feeling stressed is type it in. Release it now, and let's see the waterfall. How does it look, Taylor, on my chalet? So, what do we have?
So we
Take
have
a nap. Okay, go
take a
ahead.
long shower, journal, go for a walk, be thankful, um, take some time for myself and do something I really enjoy. Talk to someone, eat. Now, Jessica, that's my girl. Eat. Yes. That's what we have in the chat.
Okay. And I want you to remember that, what you did, because either you're going to keep that or you may learn something while we're going through this journey. So just, okay, move my feet and not my, all right, yes. There is something that we do, we shake. Shaking is one, and that's one of like my most, it took me a while because when I usually shake, my thing was that I want to shake to rhythm. That's just me. I want you to move to some reggae music or anything. But when you're doing the shake to release the stress, there's no rhythm. You're just shaking, shaking, shaking. So yes. Okay, we'll go back to the PowerPoint. So many of our ancestors, we stress is a part of life. It is. Stress is part of life, and they experience stress. That life-threatening situation, and then once that danger will pass, when we think about like, people say Neanderthal or cavemen, or even if you think about the West, the pioneers that went out west, once that danger fall pass through that life threatening situation, their stress level would lower. However, in today's world, try driving on I-95 north in the morning. We are bombarded with a lot of stress just going in our cars. Then we got work deadlines that we have to do. And I have students on here, their projects and papers that are due. You have family obligation. Our school is an urban school. So many of our students are not what folks would, and I would they're traditional now in this space. In the past, they would say non-traditional, but the majority of our students are balancing work, life, and family. So there's never a time, a break long enough to relax and relieve the stress. So what we have to do is come up with little snippets, little things that will help us to deal with those stress once that hormone kicks in. Because as we know, stress, and I am a walking poster child for that it does link to high blood pressure. One of the they call it like the secret, it's not secret anymore. But one of the unusual killer, a lot of women are dying as a result of heart attacks. In the past, it was more considered a man thing, but I have known so many young women too, because they're young in my eyes. Because you're young, when you're in your 40s, you should not be having to deal with heart attacks. And so a lot of young women are experiencing that because of their stress level. And so, again, also stress, believe it or not, it is secondary. One of the secondary things, is depression, anxiety. Sometimes we overeat because we're stressed. And I know I am the poster child for that. If I find myself like eating, I don't realize it, that's my body telling me you're stressing over something. So I've learned, and I think age helps. The older I've gotten, is the less stress I've decided to do. All right, next. So why now? And I kind of talked about it, but about the fact that living a life with reduced stress resonates deeply with our commitment, because here, as when Marshall Marshall said, talked about the center, um, the Robin Rubin Center, that it's about life enhancement, and that's one reason that we bring you these workshops. It is a way to enhance and support your well-being, and so we want to support you. We want to provide you with some of those coping strategies, because many of us. I've had students, because like I said, because we have students that are mature, that are living life, are really having some serious trauma in their work life and in their home life. And then the expectations is in, it's easy to say work-life balance, but how do we really achieve work-life balance? Next. We already know what we're going to be doing. We did our warm-up, our stress buster. Next. So what is stress? Many of us know it's a physical, it can be mental or emotional response to thing that causes your bodily or mental tension. It comes from situations or thought that makes you feel so frustrated sometimes. Sometimes you become nervous, anxious, and even angry. Some of it can be good, but it can also be harmful. Harmful stress is the kind of stress that would be helpful to limit and learn to manage in a healthy way. We can't eliminate stress completely, but how do we live with it, right? And limit the harmful one so that we can manage it in a healthy way. Many of our lives is about managing the things that come into it. Next. You have acute stress, and that's usually short-term demanding situations. Say, you're going up for a promotion or you're working on a major project. So it's short term and it's the demands are there. You have the deadlines that you have to meet, papers due for school. You need to get it in. You're working on a project, or in your personal life, you may be getting married and you got to meet those things. You got to get everything in order. Those, demanding life situations will cause that acute stress. Chronic stress feels like it is you're living in this never-ending cycle and it's inescapable. And no matter how you turn, you can't get rid of it. And a lot of time it's secondary to some mental health issues that underline that you may have. So it is like you have some people just get up and it's just like, oh my God, not again. And they hate to face the day. Like I said, when they get up, they're not getting up full of life. They're getting up groggy and wishing that they had stayed in bed. Then you have the episodic and acute stress. That comes regularly and frequency. And some people say if you're a CEO of a corporation, the dean of the School of Social Work, of the College of Social Work and Criminal Justice, have to experience these kind of stress level. Because again, the balancing act, right? There's meeting deadline, taking care of everything, making sure visions and different things are enacted and trying to support all of us. That can be episodic and that can be cute, and it happens frequently because it's one of those, they call them like high powering job. Yes. Then you have youth stress. That's the fun stress, right? That's the kind of stress that when you're getting ready for vacation and you're thinking, whoa, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to the Caribbean or I'm going to Europe, and these are the stuff. So you're planning for this, and it's stressful, but it's kind of euphoric because you're looking at the end result, and the end result will be you're gonna have a good time. Like you're going to Vegas, and whatever happened in Vegas, gonna stay in Vegas. Okay, next. And here are some of the common sources. Again, when you have too much to do, it is important that you really take an inventory of what it is that you're doing. I have some things for me is like the non-negotiables that I know I have to do. And then something is about reduction that, you know what? No, because I need that space. I need to care for my eye. So again, you have to balance that. Family finance, yeah, that is one of the biggest stressor when you don't have enough, and sometimes you may have too much and you're worried about, you don't trust what's going to happen. And then your health. Again, when you're worried about a diagnosis and you're trying to live and trying to find ways to balance and accept it, that is a common source of stress. So your health, your finances, either way, too much, too little. I don't know what it is to have too much. I'm always too little. And family, no matter how grown, I have adult children and they're part of my personal concern. So I stress over their well-being. So I am learning as I get older to allow them to just pray about it and leave it to them. Lack of communication with family, that is really important. We have to always be respectful as our young people and our children. And even if you're a child, you're an adult child, it's about how you communicate with your parents. And it's about giving grace, granting grace. Part of mental well-being is granting grace for the mistakes that we make. Okay? A lot of time, many of us here have dreams of the reason why you're in school or the reason why you're in certain position. You have goals and dreams about professional development or advancement. And so you find yourself working so hard for recognition and for validation to say, hey, I've done this, please. And then when you're waiting and you don't get it, then that stress level starts to build up. And sometimes you find yourself battling what they call imposter syndrome because you're thinking, okay, I've done all of this. What did I not do right? That in itself is a big stressor. So feeling unable to make use of your skills and abilities, like I was sharing with Michaela about being in the UK, and I'm trying to push. I'm a school social worker. No matter where I go, I wear that with such great pride. And we're trying to get that, advance that in the United Kingdom. But part of the advancement is about building those skill set and getting courses within universities that are tailored, that create a track for school social work. So that's one of the things. So, building up our social work capacity. So a lot of time when we're going for professional development and we're going for an advancement, we may question our abilities and we start to play with that imposter syndrome. But I'm going to tell y'all, kick that imposter syndrome out. All right? Next. And like we said, some stress can motivate us to solve our problems and accomplish our goals. I want y'all, this is very important. We talk about good stress, bad stress, but yes, not all the stress are bad. If we view stress as a tool to help our brains to perform better, we can reduce some of the negative symptoms. So again, you're viewing it as a tool. All right. So, all right, I'm going for this job. I'm a little stressed in my preparation, but the tool I need to motivate me to get me up off of my butt and not procrastinate is that little stress. So I can start really looking into what I need to do, get my act together, and then, because then that will reduce some of the negative symptoms, such as, oh my God, maybe I won't get it, the imposter syndrome. Because when you're well prepared and you walk in, the imposter syndrome can be pushed to the side. So our goal, remember, is how do we manage it? Not eliminate that good part. Next. So part of that is, remember that I space, I need space. What does your space look like? Right? Again, the key here is self-care doesn't always mean the same thing to everybody. Prioritize your self-care. Sitting outside on a bench, maybe between lunch and things, taking a walk. I need space. I need space. Okay, next. It's not selfish. Self-care is not. You cannot serve from an empty vessel. And you need to be able to fill back that vessel up emotionally. All right. There are several pillars of self-care. Knowledge and health literacy. Know what's good. Know what's good for you. It's important. Your mental well-being, that you need that. Remember, your mental well-being is your state of thriving. We have to do physical activity. walking, jogging, whatever that activity may be, dancing. I love to dance. Healthy eating. My husband is making sure that I get on this. He makes my smoothies with all those veggies, but we need that. Healthy eating, mindful eating, avoiding those risk factors. I'm not trying to tell people not to smoke, but we know what the Surgeon General says, right? Again, moderation, a glass of wine and so forth. Yes, but again, it's all about moderation. And we got to stay off of social media a little bit too, because that can be risky as well. You know, I have people that will be on it like on their computer for a while. Good hygiene. You want to make sure, and part of the hygiene is your sleep, taking care of yourself, taking some long, nice hot shower or bath, just pampering yourself, but caring for your body, that hygiene, your oral hygiene, your physical hygiene, that's part of self-care. And rational use of products and services such as the vitamins. Sometimes we could OD. Sometimes, just know, have a supplement and know what it's for. But we don't want to use energy drink. I see young people for a while when that became like everybody was doing, drinking those energy drink, you know. No. The rest, if you rest, then you eat well, you don't need a lot of these supplemental products. Red Bull. I didn't want to call it a name, but a lot of young people were taking a lot of those things. And some people were taking B6 and B12 just for that boost. But rest, look at these 7 pillars of self-care. They will help you. Okay, next. Again, here, this kind of ties into the 7 pillar of how to live, take care of self-care, because self-care goes hand in hand with the reduction of stress and relieving your stress. And like I said, eating well, a balanced diet, shaking and dancing, that good night's sleep, and some of the things that really help, guided imagery. I am a big imagery person. I have an overactive imagination anyway. And it has helped because as a child, living in a poor environment, I escaped. I was always in New Zealand, Australia, somewhere, Again, imagery is good. Those breathing, the breath exercise, and mindfulness. Mindfulness, being aware, making those conscious choices, being aware of your environment as you walk. A lot of times you walk and then you get to your destination and you can't even remember, how did I get there? But mindfulness, taking note of what's around you. Next. You eat well. A good Mediterranean diet is really good. I know a lot of people, and I'm a big eater of avocado. I love avocado. But again, you want to balance. I always tell folks, on your plate, you want to see a range of colors, right? And that's part of your eating mindfully. You want to have different, you want to make sure you have your protein, a little carb, you want your veggie. Again, that is really important because many of our ailments are secondary to the food we eat. Many of those non-communicable diseases, like mine, like diabetes, arthritis, many of them, excuse me, are diseases that are secondary to our not eating well. Next. Again, this will tell you the kind of food you want to eat. You don't want to replace caffeine, and that's something I'm working on. I am a Pepsi person, and I'm working on that. I was so proud of myself today. I did not drink any Pepsi, and I've had weeks when I don't. But I recognize the fact of that, and so again, we want to replace some of those harmful things. Like I stopped eating refined sugar, um, clean proteins, processed food. It's really good to eliminate. And I know a good hero is nice, a good sandwich, that's processed food. It's best for you to buy your chicken and roast it and slice it yourself and make your sandwich. Okay, next. Yes, a pescatarian diet is really good. Yes. So, did I tell you about the shaking and the dancing? The quickest way, I'm telling you, to release stress is to release those endorphins through exercise. And the way of this is through shaking and dancing. Like I said, when we do this training, I am part of the Center of Mind Body Wellness. And I remember I was very self conscious about the shaking and dance because, again, I need a beat. I want a beat. I want that rhythm. But it's come to be my best every morning. And I know when my husband is now he's gotten it to realize, oh, she's doing her shaking. I just would just shake, the hands is flaying all over. I do the little Carlton moves, and everything because it is about expressing yourself in the meditation and just loosening your joints and clearing your mind. So you can stop for a minute or two, pay attention to how you're breathing, and then you just continue doing it. And finally, you just keep turning it up faster and faster. And it gets you energized. And I am a person that has a lot of arthritic pain. Every morning, that is my go-to. So I'm telling you guys, you just shake, just keep shaking. Then you stop, you breathe, then you shake a little more, and you just continue. All right. And that shaking, man, you just let it go. It don't matter. And have fun, laugh at yourself. It don't matter. So that's for about 5 minutes until you feel satisfied. And then you're ready for the world and ready for your day. And it really is awesome because when you're stressed, just think about what you're shaking off. Shake, 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 snore off. Okay. All right, next. And that sleep. You know, I remember when you're young, right? You tell yourself that I'm not gonna, I don't wanna go to bed. I don't want, things like that. But your parents were right when they were saying you need to get a good night's sleep, 8 hours sleep. Now, as we get older, I am lucky if I get 5 hours. I'm trying to strive for 7, but there's so much thing. But you need to do that. Disconnect from all technologies. Put your phones on silence and let the kids know, especially if you have adult children or the young children, say, hey, at 10 o'clock, my phone is going to be going on silence. My husband is good at that. He puts his on silence at 10. So, again, because you need that good night's sleep, because it relieves, that's where you just get to like replenish and rejuvenate yourself. And get off of TikTok, get off of IG, stop looking at the stories because they'll keep you up. And then also, like my clock reminds me when it's time to go to bed. Mind you, do I obey it? Because usually I'm trying to do something, but that's a good habit to really cultivate. Next. Here are good, these about the dimension, what happens with your sleep, your body. You need at least 8 hours to wake up feeling rested. Remember, how do you get up in the morning? How you get up grumpy? I mean, you didn't get your full amount of sleep. And each person needs more than the other. I find that the older I get, 6 hours is really good for me. And I'm well refreshed after 6 hours. And I think it's with age. You eat your nutritious breakfast almost every day, and I make sure I do that. And I exercise. You need to exercise, be it walking, whatever is your exercise, and you take break. And that helps because you feel calm, you're more patient, and you have enough time for family and friends because you're more approachable and more likable. All right, next. I'm losing the time. Guided imagery. And like I told you, the imagination can take you anywhere without it costing you a dime. So your body responds essentially the same way to made up imagery as if you really experience it. Relaxing images can be effective tool for relieving stress. When I do this more in depth and we engage in that exercise, I always tell folks, think of a place or a person somewhere that brings you that calm. That a lot of time I find, and I suddenly realized once that I always go back to my kitchen in Brooklyn, my mom's kitchen in Brooklyn, and I realized where my love of yellow came from because it was a yellow kitchen, and she had those beads, those I'm a 70s child, so just imagine. Okay. She had those beads that came down. And I would think about the rustling of the beads as we would go through. And it always was soothing for me. So that helps me to relax, especially when I'm in stressful situation and I know I'm about to embark on anything. Usad, that guiding imagery. So think of something, someplace that brings you that pleasure and go for it. Okay, next. All right, like I said, yellow. Do you know you can look at that lemon imagery, and when you focus it, you could actually smell the rind, imagine it being cut into, seeing it sweet, and you could actually taste that tartness. And you could actually feel just in your imagination to see the little seeds that it comes out. Go ahead, next. So I'm going to have us do a quick exercise, all right? Think about what I just said, right? I want you to look at this tree. See the image? You see the lemon on the tree, right? I'm going to guide you through an exercise. So I want you to notice those. And as you're looking at it, think you're right out there. You're right there near that tree, right? And as you inhale it, smell the rind. Smell that, that nice aroma of that lemon. And I want you to inhale it. And as you exhale it, observe and explore your thoughts, your feelings, and the sensations that you're experiencing. So we're going to do this. I'm going to do 3 inhalation. I like the number 3. And just look at that. Just imagine yourself right there under that tree. The sun is coming down. You see how the lemons look. All right, let's take our first inhalation. Smell that rind. Just imagine. Just imagine how it's going to be when you pick it. Imagine when you slice it. And you're going to take it over and you're going to just squeeze it into a glass. And then you're going to pour some nice cold water in it. And you can add sugar or honey and just stir it up. And just think that wonderful lemon that you picked, you could just imagine as you put that glass to your lips and drink it. And as you're drinking it, you're just exhaling all the stress of the day. And you could feel it. You don't have to be there. But the power of our mind and imagery helps us. And you could do it with anything. If you're a coffee drinker or a tea drinker, just look into that cup and just imagine. Next, minute time. Okay. All right. So again, we have the time, we had some time to do some breathing. And so all you have to do whenever you get to that point in life and you're feeling so stressed, breathe. You ever hear to say breathe? Just breathe. That's something we do all day and we don't get to do it often enough, but those breathing helps. All right. And that is a way to release stress more than anything else. I'm going to pause and we're going to take some time to ask some questions. All right. All righty. Okay, okay. What do we have? Anything? Oh, some take a long shower. So, any questions?
And thank you, Marva. Before we jump into questions, everyone, if you can please take a moment, I'm going to go ahead and share a survey. It's a quick survey, but I'm going to drop that into the chat right now. If you can take a moment to let us know your thoughts, tell us how amazing Miss Almost Dr. Marva is, and we would greatly appreciate it. It keeps the show on the road. But thank you so much, and I'll turn it back for any questions.
Okay. Anybody want any tip? Oh, thank you, Taylor. And like I said, breathing. You'd be surprised. Anyone? Mm, Let me see if there's any other things. This was really nice. Okay. Okay, all right. The breathing techniques. So like I said, the soft belly breathing, as you know, is like when you're gonna inhale, I want you take about 3 fingers, right? And put on there between your breast or chest and your tummy. And as you inhale, you want to push. That means normally you want to tighten your stomach muscle, right? When you're breathing. And that's why I said, welcome new experience. Be willing to try something new. So as you are inhaling, you're going to push that tummy out. No more, we don't need to tighten the muscle. We need to get that air in. And then when you exhale, you just feel that stress leaving and just imagine it flowing out of the fingertips and everything. And you repeat that, especially when you know you're being anxious about an upcoming event. It may be school, it may be personal. Just stop for a minute and do those inhalation. Inhale through the nostril and exhale open mouth. Okay? Alrighty. Anyone else?
Okay, do you have any tips for when maybe we're a little bit over the word is like over I'm gonna go with over fried because I can't think of the word. Any tips for how to do a guided imagery if we're having struggles keeping that focus?
Right. So one of the things, like I said, to keep the focus, the key here is to focus on something that means something to you. Lemon may not mean anything to you, right? All right. Say, for instance, your pet, stroking your pet. You know, like cat. Like when I was growing up, my brother liked his cat. I'm not a cat woman. I'm not, but like, just imagine, right? Sitting there with maybe your cat or your dog on your lap, and just imagine the stroking. And as you're stroking, just feel with each stroke as your hands go against that nice fur, the skin, just let that stress comes out with each stroke. It may be that you like to go to the beach and watch the wave. With each time the wave, you want to keep that wave, picture that wave that you've always seen, and just imagine that, okay, as the wave come in, I'm in it, and when it goes up, I'm sending out the stress of the deadline coming up, because I just need to stop, pause, and remember, I need space. I need that space. It is okay, because you need that space to allow you to focus. And that's what that imagery does. It gives you that space for you to focus. And imagery works when you choose what it is. It may be a nice cup of tea. Just holding that cup in your palm, feeling the warmth, brings back memories of a good time, maybe sitting with somebody special. And as you drink that cup and as you feel the liquid going down through your throat, just think of what it means, the liquid and that time, what I need. Remember, I need space. That's going to be the context, because we want to thrive, not survive anymore. All right? So the key here is it has to be something that's meaningful to you for it to really be effective.
That's
Oh, okay.
no, Melissa, I love that.
Yes. Sometimes it's our kids. I'm telling you, when I do it more and I have the time, and then you choose your thing, and you just, like I said, for me, in doing the exercise, I did realize that it's my mom's kitchen in Brooklyn that brings me, it really does, it makes me feel closer to her, even though she's been gone a while. And I'm just right there. That's why I said the power. Tell you, see this brain you have? It has more power. No one. The key is to keep it because you control and you can make it stop. You can make sure you get that space, your eye space. Okay. Anyone else? Y'all have been really good. But
Yes,
I'm
they have.
hoping.
Yes. Thank you everyone for joining us. Did you have some last words, Marva?
As my word is this, that it is important that you enjoy your opportunity to be alone, enjoy your space. It is okay to tell your kids, your spouse, your people that I need space for me to thrive. Okay. Thank you guys. You've been great.
Thank you. Okay, everyone, we're just about out of time. I want to thank Marva for being with us today and reminding us of all the importance of empowering ourselves through awareness of stress and prioritizing our self-care. To everyone in the audience, thank you for spending part of your evening with us. I hope you will join us again next time, sometime during this academic school year. You can register on our website, fau.edu/happiness. And while you're there, remember to register for our next event, which is on October 12th. It's so it's in person. It's the Mindful Walk and Bird Talk. Such an amazing experience. Have a great rest of your evening and be well.
Thank you, everybody.